On the night of April 14, 1912, the Atlantic Ocean was calm. The sky was clear, the stars were bright, and sailing through that peaceful darkness was the most advanced ship ever built, the RMS Titanic. It was called Unsinkable. Less than 3 hours later, it would be gone, taking more than 1,500 lives with it and changing history forever. At the beginning of the 20th century, the world believed it had conquered nature. Technology was advancing faster than ever before. Bigger machines, faster travel, and stronger steel gave humanity a new sense of power. In this age of confidence, the White Star Line built Titanic, a ship designed not just to cross the ocean, but to dominate it. Titanic was the largest moving object humans had ever created. It stretched 882 feet long, stood 11 stories high, and weighed over 46,000 tons. Inside, it was pure luxury. Electric elevators, a swimming pool, Turkish baths, a gym, and dining halls more elegant than the finest hotels in Europe. Beneath all that beauty were 16 watertight compartments, leading engineers to believe the ship could not sink. That belief would become its greatest weakness. When Titanic departed Southampton on April 10, 1912, more than 2,200 people were on board. The ship was a floating version of society itself. First-class passengers included millionaires and powerful businessmen living in unmatched comfort. Second-class passengers were professionals and travelers enjoying respectable conditions. Third-class passengers were immigrants, families who had sacrificed everything for the hope of a better life in America. They shared the same ship and the same ocean, but not the same chances of survival. On April 14th, Titanic received multiple warnings about icebergs directly in its path. Other ships slowed down. Titanic did not. That night at 11:40 p.m., the lookout sounded the alarm. An iceberg loomed ahead. The ship turned, but it was too late. The iceberg ripped open the hull, flooding 5 compartments. Titanic could only survive 4. From that moment on, the ship was doomed. At first, there was little panic. The ship felt stable. Passengers were reassured. The band continued to play. Many believed Titanic was too strong to sink, but below deck, water was flooding in at hundreds of tons per minute. The truth became impossible to ignore. Titanic carried lifeboats for only about half of the people on board. As lifeboats were lowered, many left half empty because passengers did not believe the ship would actually sink. Women and children were prioritized, but class divisions remained. First-class passengers reached the boats more easily, while many third-class passengers faced locked gates, confusing corridors, and fatal delays. Despite the chaos, incredible acts of courage unfolded. The ship's musicians played to keep people calm. Engineers stayed below deck to keep the power on, knowing they would not survive. Many passengers gave up their seats so others could live. In the face of disaster, humanity revealed both its cruelty and its compassion. At 2:20 a.m. on April 15, 1912, Titanic broke apart. The front of the ship disappeared beneath the ocean. The stern rose high into the air before crashing back into the freezing Atlantic. Hundreds were thrown into icy water. Most survived only minutes. By sunrise, the ocean was silent. More than 1,500 people had lost their lives. The sinking of Titanic shocked the world. It led to major changes in maritime safety, including enough lifeboats for everyone, continuous radio monitoring, and international ice patrols. But beyond the laws and regulations, Titanic left behind a deeper lesson. It proved that no technology is greater than nature, that confidence without caution can be deadly, and that in moments of crisis, human choices matter more than human inventions. More than 100 years later, Titanic still rests at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, broken and silent. Yet its story continues to be told, not just as a tragedy, but as a warning and a reminder. The Titanic was called unsinkable. History proved otherwise.